An update, as ever, from me, Katie Hopkins, here in batshit bonkers Britain, where in fact the pressure now on people to take the vaccine is really mounting up. We had a government advisor last night say, direct to camera, if you want the dream of a normal life, then you will take the vaccine. I suppose a few things from me, just in terms of language. Number one, the word vaccine. I suppose, should we call it a vaccine until we know what it is? At this point, of course, we know that vaccines normally take 10 years to be developed, and this has been conjured up in about the amount of time it takes me to have a shower or shave my legs. That's not a problem in itself, it's just a little bit odd. Maybe we should call this a government injectable, because it's an injectable the government want us to have. Second up, of course, anybody that questions a vaccine in any way or questions a government injectable is called an anti-vaxxer. You know, the way that they make people into a monster so that you can disregard what they're saying. I think if you're questioning what someone wants to inject in you, particularly if it's the potato in a wig, Boris Johnson, that makes you a sane and rational individual. So do reject any labels people try to put on you. And of course, the left have always argued my body, my choice when it comes to abortion rights, my body, my choice. But suddenly when it comes to vaccines or government injectables, they want to argue your body, my choice, your body, the state's choice. Since when did we need the state to tell us what we had to inject in ourselves? And I suppose finally, people in white coats, we're sort of trained to trust them, like we used to trust the police in the old days. But people in white coats are just people in fancy dress, aren't they? Uniforms are just costumes. Imagine if the person in a white coat was naked underneath. I mean, exciting perhaps, but also maybe a paedophile, you know, and that wouldn't be a good thing. So do remember that white coats are just fancy dress. I used to be a security guard at Disneyland Paris, pulling paedophiles out of the Peter Pan maze. And I had a costume as well. I had an outfit that made me look like security, and I was dreadful at it, but it was just a costume. So do remember, white coats are just people in fancy dress. You're not an anti-vaxxer, just if you question a government injectable. And whatever they're calling a vaccine is just a liquid coming out of Belgium that has to be stored at minus 70 degrees and was come up with in less time than it takes me to have a pee. Okay, let's go, seize the day, and let's try and keep corona bollocks at bay.